Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those who are new in this channel, I am Hidden Margaret. In this channel I discuss about life challenges. I discuss about how we learn from our challenges and how we need to be positive when things are difficult. It is very important to be positive, and how we grow from our challenges than for our challenges to break us apart. Today's video is about how to have faith in time of struggle. Life is a mix-up of sweet and bitter. Sometimes things seem to be working well in your life. Sometimes things seem to be very rough. Sometimes you get into that state where things just are hard, and whatever you're trying, it doesn't seem to be working out. You find that your doors seem to be blocking. You get so frustrated in life, and this is the time that we really need to have faith, because faith is important. It helps you to continue to push on in life until you start to see light shining through. It is very important to have faith. I understand that it can be very difficult for us to have faith, especially when we have been tested in a degree where we have poured out our heart to God. We have sought the face of God. We have prayed and prayed and prayed, and it looks like our prayers or your prayers is not being answered. But I want to tell you that you need to keep persisting in your prayer. Continue to have faith, because it is worth it for those who have faith in God. Because we know that those who lean their head on God, those who trust on God, those who keep seeking the face of God, they do not get disappointed. That is one thing about our beautiful God. He does not disappoint those who put their faith on Him, those who lean on Him, those who continue to trust on Him. He does not put them on shame. He does not disappoint them. He does not disappoint them. So continue to have your faith. Continue to seek the face of God, and be patient. It is very important to be patient, because if you don't have patience, if you're not able to be patient, then it is just hard. It is important to have faith. It is important to be patient. Have patience. Be patient and continue to seek the face of God. A wonderful example of that person that I can give, let me say, he is one of that great man of faith that been mentioned in the Bible, was Job. Job was tested by the enemy. He was tested in a degree where he lost his livestock in one day. He lost his children. He lost his livelihood. He lost everything. But this man was so faithful to God. He was so faithful. Neither did he curse God, neither did he sin against, neither did he say anything bad against God. He did not. Instead, he praised the name of the Lord. Imagine who would do that? Losing your children, losing everything in one day, and then you praise the name of God. He was so faithful. He was so faithful, friends. This is one of the examples I can give about this man, and I am really impressed. And as we continue to learn about Job, that the devil will continue to afflict Job with painful sore wounds starting from his head to his toes. But Job did not sin against God. He continued to maintain his integrity and praising God and having faith in Him. But the person that advised Job with bad advice was his wife. The wife was losing faith. She was telling Job to curse God so that he could die. But listen to what Job had replied to the wife. He replied to the wife, "You're like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not bad from and not trouble?" And this is the situation of many of us these days. This is the situation of many of us. We accept good, we accept God in good time, many of us. But when we are going through difficult time, when we are tested, or when we are going through trials, we suddenly fall away. We suddenly fall away. We start to behave like Job's wife. We become God's enemy. We start to speak all kind of negative, nasty thing against God. Some of people even do not want God's name to be mentioned in their presence because of the situation they are going through. But what does the Bible really tell us as a believer? The Bible tells us that that if this is what God is telling us, that He is not responsible for our suffering. God is not responsible for our suffering. He said that if anybody attack you, it is not his doing, and whosoever attack you shall surrender to you. And that is what we can say, that God is not responsible for our suffering. We know who is responsible for our suffering. Yes, He allow what happened in our life, but He is not the one who caused it. As we know that God has given us free will. Sometimes some of the things that we are going through is a result of it is a consequences of our choices. Sometimes we live in a disobedient life. We do things that are not good, and then the result produce something that is not good in our life. We live in a sinful nature. As we know that sin, of course, produce trouble and then death, and that is what happening. And often when things bad things happen to us, we don't reflect on our own ways, we don't reflect in our own behavior, but we quick to blame God. Instead of getting close to Him, we blame Him for what happened to us, instead of seeking God and ask Him of why this are happening to us. How can we fix it? How can God help us to get away? We blame Him. But we already know in the Bible that God is not responsible for the bad things that are happening to us. He allows it, but He is not responsible. And as a believer, we need to be mindful of that, and not also everybody who are going through struggle, or their bad things are happening in their life, not necessarily because they are sinner. As we see in the story of Job, if anybody who have read the story of Job, he was a righteous man. Job did not sin, but the enemy, the devil, accused him to God, that he loved God, he obeyed God because of the blessing of God upon him. And he was doing those things because he wanted to destroy Job's relationship with God. And sometimes the enemy will really put us in a difficult time. He will rip us apart just because he wants to destroy our relationship. And that's why you need to stand firm. You need to have faith. You need to continue to seek God first, no matter what you're going through. As a believer, we need to learn to continue to have that faith and continue to be patient, continue to be positive, as what we have seen in an example of Job. No matter what situation he was going through, he continued to love God, he continued to praise God, he continued to lean, his head on God to the end. It is very important for us to do that, because there is no anybody that will deliver us from our situation than our Creator. So it is very, very, very important, guys. It is very important. And as we see in the 1 Thessalonians 5:18, it says that in everything we need to give thanks. In everything we need to give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. So as a Christian, in everything in our life, let us be thankful to God. Let us be thankful whether we are in a good time, whether we are in a bad time. We need to learn to be thankful to God. We need to learn to be thankful to God and have faith, because without faith it is hard to please God. Without faith it is hard to stick around God. So it is important. Romans 8:28 is saying, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and to them who are called according to his purpose. And I pray that you are one of that. As Christian, we have God promises. That is what is beautiful. We have God promises that everything that happened to us eventually will work good for us. Everything, as we have seen, the example is with Joseph when he was sold in Egypt by his brothers into slavery. What happened in that land? He became great. The enemy meant for bad, God used it for good. So that is the encouragement that I will give you in your time of struggle, in whatever you are going through. Continue to have faith. What the devil meant for bad, God will eventually use it for our advantage, for our good. So, friend, be encouraged. And guys, I am so grateful. I am so grateful, and I'm too encouraged by this story. I am encouraged. And as we know in the book of Job, and I will encourage you to go and read it, that after the devil had tested Job, and he continued to have his, faith in God. He continued to maintain his integrity, continued to have faith in God, continued to lean on God, continued to stick by God. What happened? God restored everything. We see the enemy attempt to destroy, what the enemy killed, what the enemy has stolen. So I pray that will be your portion, that whatever you're going through, that whatever the enemy has stolen, what the enemy has stolen last year, he has destroyed. You're going through so much, so much grief, whatever you're going through. I pray that this year will be a year of your restoration, will be a year that God will restore is double as what we have witnessed in Job's life, that he will restore all that the enemy had destroyed, all that the enemy have stolen, and all that the enemy healed. So I am so grateful, guys, for this message, and I'm so grateful that you have stuck there to the end to listen to this message. I hope that you are blessed, and if you like this video, highly feel free to like, to subscribe, to comment, and I will see you in the next video.